Welcome to our summary of Emotional Intelligence 2.0. This book by Bradberry and Greaves isn't just another self-help guide, it's a game-changer for anyone looking to level up their personal and professional life. Emotional intelligence, or EQ, has been proven to have a bigger impact on success than IQ, and the best part, it's a skill you can learn and improve. In this video, we'll break down the key insights and actionable strategies to help you manage your emotions, build stronger relationships, and unlock your full potential. Stick around, it just might change the way you see yourself and the world around you. The foreword of Emotional Intelligence 2.0 underscores the vital role emotional intelligence plays in determining success, surpassing traditional measures such as IQ, education, or experience. It reveals how emotional intelligence serves as the missing link in understanding why some individuals excel, while others with similar intellectual or technical capabilities falter. The narrative explains that EQ, though intangible and difficult to measure, profoundly impacts our ability to navigate relationships, handle stress, and make effective decisions. Despite its importance, emotional intelligence is often misunderstood, with many perceiving it as innate rather than a skill that can be cultivated and improved. This book seeks to bridge the gap between understanding EQ and applying it practically in everyday life, offering a step-by-step approach to enhancing self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and relationship management. For anyone seeking to unlock their potential, strengthen their relationships, and achieve lasting personal and professional growth, this audiobook offers both a compelling exploration and a practical guide to mastering emotional intelligence. With the importance of emotional intelligence now clear, the journey begins by exploring how our emotions influence our actions and the pivotal role they play in shaping our lives. Chapter 1 of Emotional Intelligence 2.0 begins with a vivid and intense story about a man named Butch Connor, who finds himself face-to-face with a great white shark while surfing alone. This real-life situation highlights the power emotions have to override logic, even in life-and-death moments. As Butch's fear takes over, he becomes paralyzed, unable to act or think clearly. Yet, through immense effort, he manages to calm himself, regain control, and make a rational decision to paddle to safety. This dramatic example illustrates one of the book's core messages. Emotions, while instinctive and powerful, can be managed to guide us toward better outcomes. The chapter uses this story to emphasize the constant battle between emotion and reason that takes place in all of us, every day, often in less dramatic but equally impactful ways. The authors explain how the human brain is wired to process emotions before rational thought. Every sensation what we see, hear, or feel first passes through the limbic system, where emotions are generated, before reaching the frontal lobe, where logical thinking occurs. This wiring ensures that emotions often influence our actions before we even have a chance to think logically about a situation. While this can be beneficial in some cases, such as alerting us to danger, it can also lead to impulsive decisions or reactions we later regret. Emotional intelligence, then, is the ability to recognize and understand this process and use it to our advantage, rather than being at the mercy of our emotions. One of the key takeaways from this chapter is that emotional intelligence is not a fixed trait, it's a skill that can be developed and improved over time. Unlike IQ, which remains relatively stable throughout life, EQ is flexible and can grow with intentional practice. The authors reveal that emotional intelligence plays a crucial role in our lives, influencing how we make decisions, build relationships, and respond to challenges. In fact, it often matters more than IQ in determining success. They highlight that while most people recognize the importance of EQ, very few have the tools to improve it, which is why this book exists. The chapter concludes by encouraging readers to start seeing their emotions not as barriers but as opportunities. By understanding how emotions shape behavior, we can begin the journey of mastering them. It's a call to action for anyone who wants to strengthen their relationships, make better decisions, and unlock their full potential by developing a skill set that is as practical as it is transformative. This chapter lays the foundation for the strategies and tools to come, framing emotional intelligence as the key to navigating both the everyday and extraordinary moments in life. As we leave Butch's dramatic encounter behind, it's clear that emotions are powerful forces shaping our decisions, often before we even realize it. But knowing this is just the beginning. In Chapter 2, we zoom out to see the bigger picture: how emotional intelligence influences every aspect of our lives, from personal relationships to professional success, and why so many people struggle to harness it. If emotions are the drivers of our actions, Chapter 2 shows us how to take the wheel and steer with intention. Stay tuned as we dive deeper into what makes EQ so impactful and how it can transform the way we navigate the world. Chapter 2 of Emotional Intelligence 2.0 pulls back the curtain to reveal the bigger picture of emotional intelligence and its profound impact on our lives. While Chapter 1 introduces us to the idea that emotions often control our actions, this chapter explains why that matters and how EQ serves as the foundation for personal and professional success. Through years of research involving over 500,000 people, the authors discovered a striking truth. Most people struggle with identifying and managing their emotions in real time. In fact, only 36% of people are able to accurately recognize their emotions as they happen, leaving the majority at the mercy of feelings they don't fully understand. The chapter emphasizes that emotions are ever present in our lives, shaping how we think, act, and connect with others. While we might assume we are making logical decisions, emotions are often influencing us in subtle and significant ways. This is particularly evident in high-stress or challenging situations where emotional hijackings, moments when emotions overpower reason, become common. The authors make it clear that emotional intelligence isn't just about being aware of your feelings, but about using that awareness to manage them effectively and respond in ways that align with your goals. One of the standout insights from Chapter 2 is the distinction between IQ, personality, and EQ. While IQ is a measure of cognitive ability and personality reflects stable traits like introversion or extroversion, EQ is a flexible skill that can be developed and refined throughout life. This flexibility makes EQ unique and incredibly valuable, as it allows people to grow and adapt regardless of where they start. The authors highlight how EQ serves as the missing link that explains why people with average IQs often outperform those with high IQs. It's not just about what you know or how smart you are. It's about how you manage yourself and your relationships. The chapter also explores the practical benefits of EQ in the workplace, showing how it contributes to better decision-making, time management, communication, and leadership. The research is clear. Emotional intelligence accounts for 58% of performance across all types of jobs and industries. High performers almost always have strong EQ skills, and those who develop their EQ tend to excel, earning higher salaries and achieving greater career satisfaction. The authors frame EQ as a superpower that not only boosts professional success, but also improves personal fulfillment by helping individuals navigate the complexities of human relationships with greater ease and empathy. As the chapter wraps up, the authors leave readers with a sense of optimism and urgency. They emphasize that while many people lack the tools to manage their emotions effectively, EQ is something everyone can work on and improve. By developing emotional intelligence, we unlock the ability to create stronger connections, make better choices, and ultimately lead more balanced and fulfilling lives. The stage is set for the chapters ahead, where the focus will shift from understanding the power of EQ to learning the actionable strategies that make it a practical and transformative skill. Now that we've explored the big picture of emotional intelligence and its undeniable impact on our lives and careers, the question becomes, what does it actually look like in action? In Chapter 3, we break EQ down into its core components and dive into the 4 essential skills that make up emotional intelligence. This is where the journey becomes personal, as we move from understanding EQ as a concept to seeing how it plays out in our daily interactions and how we can start improving it step by step. Chapter 3 of Emotional Intelligence 2.0 introduces the 4 foundational skills of emotional intelligence and organizes them into 2 primary areas: personal competence and social competence. Personal competence focuses on what happens internally. It's about understanding and managing your own emotions. Social competence, on the other hand, involves your ability to navigate relationships and understand the emotions of others. Together, these areas form a framework for how we interact with ourselves and the world around us. The first skill, self-awareness, is the cornerstone of emotional intelligence. It's your ability to recognize and understand your emotions as they happen. Self-awareness means identifying what you're feeling and why, which allows you to anticipate your emotional reactions and avoid being blindsided by them. The chapter emphasizes that self-awareness is not about perfection but about developing a deeper understanding of what makes you tick. This skill helps you notice patterns in your behavior and gives you the tools to pause and reflect before reacting, even in stressful situations. The second skill, self-management, builds on self-awareness. It's about using your emotional insight to control your behavior and remain flexible in your responses. Self-management isn't just about suppressing your emotions. It's about channeling them in a way that serves your goals. For example, instead of lashing out in anger during a conflict, self-management allows you to stay calm, assess the situation, and respond constructively. This skill requires practice and patience, as it involves resisting impulsive reactions and staying focused on long-term outcomes. The third skill, social awareness, shifts the focus outward. It's your ability to pick up on the emotions of others and understand what's really happening in social situations. Social awareness requires active listening, observing body language, and being fully present in conversations. The authors point out that many people fail at this because they're too caught up in their own thoughts or preoccupied with what they want to say next. By tuning into the emotions and needs of others, social awareness helps you build stronger connections and respond more empathetically. The fourth and final skill, relationship management, combines all the previous skills to create meaningful and productive interactions with others. This skill is about building trust, managing conflicts, and fostering positive relationships over time. It involves clear communication, the ability to navigate difficult conversations, and a willingness to invest in the long-term health of your connections. Relationship management is not just about professional interactions. It's equally important in personal relationships, where understanding and trust are the foundation of lasting bonds. The chapter underscores that emotional intelligence is not about mastering one skill in isolation, it's about integrating all four. Each skill builds on the others, creating a holistic framework for emotional and relational success. The authors also provide relatable examples of what these skills look like in practice, showing how small improvements in any one area can create a ripple effect in your personal and professional life. By the end of Chapter 3, it's clear that emotional intelligence is both an art and a science. It requires awareness, effort, and intentionality, but the rewards are transformative. As the authors prepare to dive into actionable strategies in the next chapters, they leave us with the empowering realization that EQ is not fixed, it's a skill anyone can learn and improve. And with that, we're ready to take the next step in the journey of turning understanding into action. Now that we've broken emotional intelligence down into its four essential skills, self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and relationship management, it's time to shift from understanding these concepts to actively improving them. Chapter 4 is where the journey becomes practical, as it provides an action plan for building your EQ step by step. This is where knowledge transforms into tangible strategies, empowering you to make meaningful changes in both your personal and professional life. Chapter 4 of Emotional Intelligence 2.0 dives straight into action, offering a roadmap to help you improve your emotional intelligence. The authors emphasize that simply understanding EQ isn't enough. Real growth requires intentional effort and consistent practice. This chapter lays the foundation for creating a personalized plan to strengthen your EQ by focusing on the specific skills that matter most to you. The first step in the process is self-assessment. To make meaningful progress, you need to identify where you currently stand. The authors introduce the Emotional Intelligence Appraisal, an online tool designed to measure your EQ and provide a clear starting point. This test highlights your strengths and weaknesses across the 4 EQ skills, helping you pinpoint the areas that need the most attention. By understanding your baseline, you can focus on strategies that will have the greatest impact on your development. Once you've identified your target areas, the chapter introduces the concept of strategic growth. The authors stress that trying to improve everything at once is overwhelming and ineffective. Instead, they recommend prioritizing a few key skills and focusing your energy on mastering them. Each improvement in one area has a ripple effect, enhancing your overall EQ and making the journey more manageable and rewarding. The authors also explain the importance of tracking progress. Growth in emotional intelligence isn't always obvious, especially in the early stages. By setting measurable goals and monitoring your progress, you can stay motivated and see tangible results over time. They encourage readers to treat this process like learning a new skill, such as dancing or playing an instrument. It requires practice, patience, and regular self-reflection. Another key theme of this chapter is the power of habit formation. The authors highlight how small, consistent changes in your behavior can lead to lasting improvements in EQ. For example, if you're working on self-awareness, you might make a habit of journaling your emotions each evening. If you're focusing on self-management, you could practice pausing and taking a breath before responding in stressful situations. These small adjustments, repeated over time, become second nature and create a solid foundation for long-term growth. The chapter also introduces tailored strategies that correspond to each of the 4 EQ skills. For instance, if you're working on social awareness, you might focus on active listening or observing nonverbal cues during conversations. For relationship management, you might prioritize giving constructive feedback or resolving conflicts with empathy. The goal is to provide practical, actionable tools that you can start using immediately in your daily life. By the end of Chapter 4, the authors make it clear that improving your emotional intelligence is a journey, not a destination. It requires effort, self-reflection, and a willingness to step outside your comfort zone. But the rewards: better relationships, greater professional success, and a deeper sense of personal fulfillment are well worth it. With a clear action plan in hand, the stage is set to dive into the strategies and exercises that will bring your EQ to life. With a clear action plan in place, it's time to dive deeper into the first pillar of emotional intelligence: self-awareness. This foundational skill is at the heart of everything you do, shaping how you perceive your emotions, respond to challenges, and connect with the world around you. In Chapter 5, the journey gets personal as we explore what it takes to build true self-awareness and the transformative impact it can have on every aspect of your life. Chapter 5 of Emotional Intelligence 2.0 focuses on self-awareness, the cornerstone of emotional intelligence. Self-awareness is your ability to accurately recognize your emotions as they occur and understand how they influence your behavior and decisions. The authors emphasize that self-awareness is not about perfection, but about developing a clear understanding of your emotional patterns, strengths, and triggers. It's the first step in building greater emotional control and improving your relationships. The chapter explains that self-awareness requires both honesty and curiosity. You need to be willing to acknowledge your emotions, even the uncomfortable ones, without judgment. This means pausing to ask yourself questions like, "Why am I feeling this way?" or "What triggered this reaction?" By tracing your emotions back to their source, you can uncover deeper insights about your needs, values, and motivations. The authors provide numerous actionable strategies to help develop self-awareness. One key practice is journaling, where you take a few moments each day to reflect on your emotional highs and lows, identifying patterns and areas for improvement. Another is mindfulness, which involves staying present in the moment and observing your thoughts and feelings without getting carried away by them. Both techniques help you stay connected to your emotions and prevent them from spiraling out of control. The chapter also highlights the importance of seeking feedback from others. While self-reflection is crucial, sometimes we are blind to our own emotional habits. Asking trusted friends, colleagues, or mentors for honest feedback can provide a fresh perspective and reveal areas where you might be unaware of how your emotions affect others. This external insight complements your internal efforts and accelerates your growth. Another key takeaway is the concept of emotional triggers. Everyone has situations or people that provoke strong emotional reactions. The authors encourage readers to identify these triggers and work on strategies to respond more effectively. For example, if a specific coworker tends to frustrate you, recognizing this pattern can help you prepare and approach interactions with more patience and understanding. The chapter emphasizes that self-awareness is not just about recognizing negative emotions. It's also about understanding what brings you joy, energy, and motivation. By identifying the activities, people, and environments that make you feel your best, you can create a life that aligns with your values and supports your well-being. The authors share inspiring examples of individuals who have transformed their lives by cultivating self-awareness. They illustrate how this skill enables you to stay calm under pressure, make better decisions, and build stronger relationships. Self-awareness isn't just a tool for managing emotions. It's a path to self-discovery that empowers you to live with greater intention and purpose. By the end of the chapter, the message is clear. Self-awareness is a skill you can develop with practice, and it's the key to unlocking the rest of your emotional intelligence. When you understand your emotions and how they influence your actions, you gain the power to choose your responses and take control of your life. This chapter sets the stage for the next step in the journey, learning how to use that awareness to manage your emotions effectively. With a solid understanding of self-awareness, we now turn to the next critical skill: self-management. If self-awareness is about recognizing your emotions, self-management is about what you do with them. It's the bridge between feeling and action, and it's where emotional intelligence becomes truly transformative. In Chapter 6, we'll explore how mastering self-management can help you stay composed, adapt to challenges, and respond thoughtfully rather than impulsively. Chapter 6 of Emotional Intelligence 2.0 dives into self-management, the second key component of emotional intelligence. Building on the foundation of self-awareness, self-management is the ability to use your emotional insight to control your actions, maintain flexibility, and guide your behavior in a way that aligns with your goals and values. It's not about suppressing emotions, but about channeling them constructively. The authors explain that self-management starts with recognizing your emotional triggers. While it's natural to feel frustration, anger, or anxiety in challenging situations, self-management is about pausing before you react. This pause creates space to assess the situation, consider your options, and choose a response that serves you best. By practicing this intentionality, you can avoid the common pitfalls of acting on impulse or letting emotions dictate your behavior. One of the key strategies for improving self-management is learning to take control of your self-talk. The inner dialogue we have with ourselves can either escalate or de-escalate our emotional reactions. The authors encourage readers to replace negative or irrational thoughts with more balanced and constructive ones. For example, instead of thinking, "This is a disaster," you might reframe it as, "This is challenging, but I can handle it." Over time, this habit can dramatically improve how you respond to stress and adversity. The chapter also emphasizes the importance of practicing mindfulness and staying present. When you're mindful, you're less likely to get caught up in the whirlwind of emotions and more likely to focus on what you can control. This practice can be as simple as taking a deep breath, grounding yourself in the present moment, or observing your emotions without judgment. These techniques help you stay calm and centered, even in high-pressure situations. Another powerful tool for self-management is learning to delay gratification. The authors highlight how successful people often resist the temptation to prioritize short-term comfort over long-term gains. Whether it's holding your tongue during a tense conversation or sticking to a challenging project, self-management requires discipline and a clear focus on your bigger goals. The chapter also explores the role of emotional energy. Just as physical energy is finite, so too is emotional energy. The authors suggest being intentional about where and how you invest this energy. By setting boundaries, prioritizing self-care, and learning to say no, you can conserve your emotional resources for the people and tasks that matter most. Throughout the chapter, the authors share real-life examples of people who have mastered self-management and the positive impact it has had on their personal and professional lives. They show how the skill allows you to navigate difficult conversations, handle setbacks with resilience, and maintain a positive attitude even in the face of challenges. Self-management is not about being emotionless. It's about using your emotions as a tool rather than letting them control you. By the end of Chapter 6, it's clear that self-management is the linchpin that connects emotional awareness to effective action. It empowers you to take charge of your emotions, stay adaptable, and respond with purpose, no matter what life throws your way. With this skill in your toolkit, you're ready to expand outward, exploring how to connect with and understand the emotions of others, leading us to the next essential component: social awareness. With self-awareness and self-management in place, the journey of emotional intelligence shifts outward to how we perceive and interact with the world around us. Chapter 7 focuses on social awareness, the skill that enables us to understand the emotions, needs, and perspectives of others. This is where emotional intelligence becomes the foundation for building meaningful relationships, resolving conflicts, and creating a sense of connection. Let's explore how this skill works and why it's so essential in our daily lives. Chapter 7 of Emotional Intelligence 2.0 introduces social awareness, the first outward-facing skill of emotional intelligence. Social awareness is your ability to accurately read the emotions of others, pick up on social cues, and understand the dynamics of any situation. This skill is the foundation for empathy and effective communication, allowing you to navigate relationships with understanding and grace. The authors emphasize that social awareness starts with paying attention. In a world filled with distractions, it's easy to miss the subtle emotional signals people are constantly giving off through their tone of voice, body language, facial expressions, and even their silences. Social awareness requires you to be fully present in your interactions, setting aside distractions like your phone, your inner monologue, or your desire to jump in and speak. It's about observing and listening not just to what's being said, but also to what's left unsaid. One key takeaway from this chapter is the importance of active listening. True listening involves more than hearing words. It's about absorbing the speaker's emotions and intentions. This means avoiding interruptions, resisting the urge to plan your response while the other person is talking, and showing genuine curiosity about their perspective. The authors suggest simple techniques like nodding, maintaining eye contact, and asking clarifying questions to demonstrate that you're fully engaged. Another essential aspect of social awareness is the ability to read the room. Whether you're in a team meeting, a family gathering, or a social event, emotions often run beneath the surface. The authors explain that by tuning into the collective mood of a group, you can adapt your approach to match the emotional tone, avoid misunderstandings, and build stronger connections. This is particularly important in high-stakes situations where tensions may be high or when subtle power dynamics are at play. The chapter also explores the concept of empathy, which is the ability to step into someone else's shoes and see the world from their perspective. Empathy doesn't mean agreeing with everyone or fixing their problems. Rather, it's about validating their feelings and making them feel understood. The authors highlight that empathy is a skill you can develop by practicing curiosity about others, asking open-ended questions, and being willing to learn from their experiences. A practical strategy for enhancing social awareness is to slow down and observe nonverbal communication. Research shows that much of what we communicate is conveyed through gestures, facial expressions, posture, and tone of voice. By paying attention to these cues, you can gain deeper insight into what someone is feeling, even if their words suggest otherwise. For example, a coworker who says, "I'm fine," but avoids eye contact and crosses their arms may be signaling frustration or discomfort. Recognizing these signals allows you to respond more thoughtfully. The chapter also addresses the barriers to social awareness, such as being overly focused on your own thoughts, multitasking during conversations, or jumping to conclusions about what someone is feeling. The authors emphasize that becoming socially aware requires intentional effort and practice. It's about shifting your focus outward, staying present in the moment, and approaching interactions with an open mind. By the end of Chapter 7, the authors leave readers with a clear understanding of how social awareness serves as a bridge to better relationships. This skill allows you to connect with people on a deeper level, anticipate their needs, and build trust. Social awareness isn't just about understanding others. It's about creating an environment where people feel seen, heard, and valued. With this foundation, the next step is learning how to use these insights to manage and strengthen your relationships, a skill explored in the final piece of the EQ puzzle, relationship management. With a strong grasp of social awareness, you now understand how to read and empathize with others, but emotional intelligence doesn't stop at understanding, it's about action. Chapter 8 ties everything together with relationship management, the skill that allows you to use self-awareness, self-management, and social awareness to build meaningful connections and effectively navigate interactions. This is where emotional intelligence becomes a powerful tool for fostering trust, resolving conflict, and creating lasting bonds in both personal and professional settings. Chapter 8 of Emotional Intelligence 2.0 focuses on relationship management, the final and most dynamic component of emotional intelligence. While self-awareness, self-management, and social awareness lay the groundwork, relationship management is where EQ comes to life. It's your ability to use what you've learned about yourself and others to communicate effectively, handle conflict constructively, and build relationships that thrive over time. The authors emphasize that strong relationships don't happen by chance, they are cultivated intentionally. Relationship management involves building trust, managing emotions and interactions, and ensuring that communication is clear and productive. One of the key aspects of this skill is maintaining open and honest dialogue, even in difficult conversations. The authors explain that avoiding conflict or sweeping issues under the rug only causes them to fester, whereas addressing them head-on, with empathy and respect, leads to healthier and more productive outcomes. One of the most valuable strategies in relationship management is learning to give and receive feedback effectively. Feedback is a cornerstone of growth in any relationship, whether it's with a colleague, friend, or partner. The authors suggest delivering feedback in a constructive, non-judgmental way by focusing on specific behaviors rather than making it personal. For example, instead of saying, "You're always late," you might say, "I noticed you were late to the last 2 meetings, and it caused us to fall behind on our agenda. How can we address this together?" Similarly, they encourage readers to accept feedback graciously, seeing it as an opportunity to improve rather than a personal attack. Another critical component of relationship management is managing conflict. The authors highlight that conflict is inevitable in any relationship, but it doesn't have to be destructive. The key is to approach disagreements with a focus on understanding the other person's perspective and finding common ground. They recommend strategies like actively listening during tense discussions, asking clarifying questions to uncover the root of the issue, and staying calm even when emotions run high. This approach not only resolves conflicts more effectively, but also strengthens the relationship by showing respect and care for the other person. The chapter also delves into building trust, which is the foundation of any strong relationship. Trust is earned through consistent actions, such as keeping your word, being dependable, and showing empathy. The authors stress that trust is fragile and can be easily broken, but with effort and authenticity, it can be rebuilt over time. Trust allows relationships to deepen and enables open communication, making it easier to navigate challenges and achieve shared goals. A practical takeaway from this chapter is the importance of investing time and energy in your relationships. Strong connections don't just happen during moments of crisis, they are built through consistent effort. Whether it's checking in with a friend, showing appreciation to a coworker, or making time for meaningful conversations with a loved one. These small but intentional actions create a sense of connection and goodwill that pays dividends in the long run. The authors also highlight the importance of adaptability in managing relationships. Every person and situation is different, so relationship management requires a flexible approach. Sometimes you may need to take the lead. Other times you might need to step back and offer support. By staying attuned to the emotions and needs of others, you can navigate these nuances and create stronger, more harmonious connections. By the end of Chapter 8, it's clear that relationship management is the culmination of all the other emotional intelligence skills. It's about taking what you've learned about yourself and others and using it to create positive, productive interactions. Whether you're leading a team, resolving a conflict, or simply strengthening a personal bond, relationship management empowers you to build relationships that are not only effective but also deeply fulfilling. With all 4 EQ skills now in place, you have the tools to transform your emotional intelligence into a powerful force for success and connection in every area of your life. And there you have it, Emotional Intelligence 2.0 in a nutshell. The book shows us that mastering EQ isn't about being perfect. It's about being intentional, self-aware, and empathetic. When you improve your emotional intelligence, every area of your life benefits, from relationships to career success. So, are you ready to take the next step and start applying these strategies? If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, comment with your thoughts, and subscribe for more life-changing book summaries. Let's grow together, one idea at a time.